My dear friends, I greet you with all my heart and I invite you to listen to my report of March 2023 around the Feast of St. Joseph, of course, and I let Milona to read it for me.
Medjugorje, 16th of March 2023. Dear friends, praise be to Jesus and Mary. On February 25th, 2023, Visionary Maria received the following monthly message. Dear children, keep converting and clothe yourselves in penitential garments and in personal deep prayer, and in humility seek peace from the Most High. In this time of grace, Satan wants to seduce you, but you, little children, keep looking at my Son and follow him towards Calvary in renunciation and fasting. I am with you because the Most High permits me to love you and lead you towards the joy of the heart, in faith which grows for all those who love God above all. Thank you for having responded to my call. For the solemnity of Saint Joseph, I can imagine that this great saint has manifested wonderful gifts and graces to all those who have prayed to him in this novena. Here are two testimonies that will encourage us to welcome him into our life, just as his beloved bride did. Appeared, then disappeared. Marianne, a sister in my community, had been sent on a mission to the Congo. One day, when she was going to a nearby town, she took the road, one of those rather narrow roads in this region that she still knew almost nothing about. At one point, in the open countryside, she wanted to stop, so she parked by the side of the road. But she could not leave because their car had become stuck in the dirt. On these roads, the shoulders are not protected. She had to find a solution before nightfall. The place was almost deserted, and she had no idea how to make it out of there on her own. Time went by. A few Africans started wandering around to watch the scene, but they just laughed. Look, a white woman, a foreigner who doesn't know the country. They found the situation very funny, and they wouldn't move. In her distress, Marianne began to pray, and especially invoked Saint Joseph, because she had already experienced his talents as a protector, and she knew his capacity for powerful intervention in cases of great difficulty. Suddenly, out of this group of gently mocking Africans, a man unexpectedly came forward, walking decisively and carrying a large shovel on his shoulder. A big shovel in this deserted place? That was totally unexpected. Without saying a word, he made his way to Marianne's car and silently began to dig around the wheels that were stuck until he managed to free the car. Marianne started the engine, happy to see herself saved, and turned around to give thanks. But the man had disappeared, vanished. In the evening, while listening to this story, a small group of believers asked her, intrigued, "Did he ask you for money?" "No." So it really was Saint Joseph. Suffering in the family. Most of the testimonies I hear about favors obtained by praying to Saint Joseph relate to searching for a house or a job. I must admit that he has required a solid reputation in these areas, which are so necessary to human life. We shouldn't ignore this, but it would also be unfair to limit his help to these aspects. My Italian friend Bernadette shared with me a beautiful grace that she obtained, which may inspire many people where their families are suffering. I must give thanks to Saint Joseph, because ever since I came to know him more closely and began to pray to him, he accompanies me day after day like a father, often giving me his providential help. I had a beautiful experience of his support during a spiritual healing. My father always had an anxious and irascible temperament, probably due to wounds from his own childhood. He would get nervous about trivial things and would often get angry with us, his children. After spending several months away from home, I returned, and to my surprise, I saw that my father had become so peaceful and serene that I could easily talk to him without him getting angry. I wondered what could have happened in his life for him to have changed like this. As the days went by, I discovered that during the week he often recited the Rosary of Saint Joseph. The Padre Pio of Naples, Italy. When an immense figure of holiness appears in the church, it would be a great pity to ignore him. That would be like depriving the thirsty of a gushing source of water. When Padre Pio already had a solid reputation as a wonder worker, many people from Naples would come to him at San Giovanni Rotondo, hoping to receive from him a light for their life, a miracle, a healing. But Padre Pio dismissed them, saying, "You have a saint in Naples, Don Dolindo. What are you doing here?" By devouring the book, Jesus, You Take Over, I found a treasure trove of wisdom that our society so badly needs to heal the misery that is gnawing at it. We also need to heal many other evils caused by the darkness of consciences and the damage of relativism. Saint Faustina had already highlighted these realities through her famous diary, but Don Dolindo Ruotolo, in a different way, exceeds all expectations. Because he was able to read people's souls and loved Christ above all else, he suffered to see that the dose of happiness and peace that Jesus has for each soul is received by very few of them, because of ignorance, unawareness, or lack of spiritual direction. Above all, he rose up against all the agitation and the propensity that modern man has to control everything, as if he were an orphan with no father. Allow me to quote here some key points from the words that Don Dolindo received in prayer from Jesus. In pain, you pray for me to take action, but for me to do what you want me to do. You are not turning to me, you simply want me to adjust to your ideas. You are just cripples asking the doctor for care, but suggest that care to the doctor. Do not do this. Instead, pray as I have taught you the Lord's Prayer. Hallowed be thy name. That is, glorified in my necessity. Thy kingdom come. May everything work together for your kingdom within ourselves and in the world. Thy will be done. In other words, You take over. If you really say to me, thy will be done, which is similar to you take over, I intervene through my almightiness and resolve the most difficult situations. What goes against surrender is worry and agitation, wanting to think about the consequences of a fact. Oh, how I desire this surrender from you to fulfill you, and how I grieve to see you agitated. This is what Satan really wants, to get you agitated so as to remove you from my action and to make you the prey of human initiatives. Trust in me alone, rest in me, surrender to me in everything. I work miracles according to full surrender to me and lack of concern for yourselves. I pour out treasures of graces when you are in total poverty. Trust in me. Turn your mind away from yourself. Do this whenever you need to. Do this and you will see great, continual and silent miracles. I swear this to you by my love. I will remember this, I assure you. Pray always with this abandonment, and you will reap great peace and much fruit. Close your eyes and say with all your soul, you take over. Fear not, I will do it. 1,000 prayers are not worth a single act of confident surrender. Remember that. There is no novena more effective than this. O Jesus, I surrender myself to you. You take over. I thought that these words could help us during Lent, so that we may reach Easter totally transformed, joyful and peaceful. Yes, let's truly welcome the Risen One, our dear Saviour, who is waiting for us to completely surrender to Him, so that He can fill us with His peace.
Dearest Gospa, even seeing your son arrested as an evildoer, judged, tortured, and crucified, you never cease to trust in the Father. You never stop believing in His plan of love, even when everything seemed to fall apart. And 3 days after the cross, you saw the resurrection. Allow us to dwell in your mother's heart and live with you in these blessed days of our redemption. God bless you.